Strode, and welcome to Straightforward. I have the pleasure of visiting with my amazing mentor and awesome friend, State Senator Ed Harbison, and today he's going to update us on all of the great things that's happening in the state of Georgia, as well as some of the great things and services that are provided for our veterans and our military families. And this is his annual update. So it's important that you listen, get your pencil and your paper, and take notes, because he's sharing some information today that you might not even be aware of. Welcome, Senator.
Well, thank you, Gloria. I'm glad to be back here again. It's always good to talk about our soldiers and our sailors and airmen and Marines and the things they deserve.
Right.
Alabama has led us surrounding states have really been way ahead of us in taking care of the veteran as it relates to benefits and things like that.
Right.
But Georgia's catching up.
Yeah, because you know,
they really are.
On your radio show for many years, we talked about the reason we had a lot of our military retirees going through that back gate to those big estates on the Alabama side, and that's because their retirement was not taxed.
That's right.
And so those are some of the things, since you've been in office representing the citizens of the 15th Senatorial District and on the front lines for veterans every day, not just at the Capitol, at the post office. When you go there, you hold in the office there because they're waiting for you. I've seen them. I've passed there and saw you there, and they're there talking to you and that kind of thing.
Well, sometimes people just want to talk to you, and they want a kind ear to listen to that problem.
But then you can identify, because a lot of them are Vietnam veterans.
They are.
And that's why we don't need to judge when we see the homeless on the street, because a lot of those people have paid the price so we can be free, so we can sleep at night.
That's right.
And a lot of them came back home different from the way they left.
They did.
And we knew of one that you tried to help. And he had children. It was very successful, his children. But he didn't want to sleep at their house. He was afraid he was going to wake up at night and think that he was in combat.
That's right.
And so he wanted to be out on the street.
That's right.
And so you always tried to help. You have put some things in place over the years, and I know you've repeated this many times on the show, but I want you to share with our viewers some of those things that's free. We know the veterans can get a free license plate. We know that, so you ain't got to pay for that.
That's right.
You did something to help our military students, because they are moving so much, and their school records don't always travel with them. So that's something you put in place.
That's right.
I know you don't like to brag, but I'm gonna have to brag for you, because you just think that's all in a day's work.
Well, let me say this up front. Nobody, no legislator in any state, anytime, we don't do things by ourselves. It's the General Assembly, the governor, the lieutenant governor, the House, the Senate.
It takes people on both sides of the aisle.
Although who leads it, that's another thing. But I just want to be clear about that. I'm no hero either. I was just one of many.
Well, you're a hero in our book, but because you're always for the people.
But
see, that's what makes you a hero.
I am for the people.
And you are still very humble, and you are very approachable. In my life's journey, I've seen where sometimes politicians or elected officials are not approachable. I don't care what the veteran looks like, if they haven't had a bath in 3 months, you're going to always give them your full attention. I've witnessed this. It's not something somebody told me.
Well, that's true.
And you're going to stand there until they feel satisfied.
That's right.
You know, and then you'll move on very quietly. So I have to honor you for that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. But I got to give credit to the whole General Assembly in this instance. We realized that there are so many other states, our surrounding states, that were doing things for their veterans population. And now I believe Patricia Ross is our chair of the head of the commission of the Veterans Department in Georgia. But before he had Pete Wheeler, down so on and so on. But the bottom line is, I think we are tuned now, especially from the push and the effort of our Vietnam veterans who came home and were spurned, were spat upon, who were rejected and sort of took their uniforms off, or if they had them on, and quietly melted into the population, whether they were sick, whether they had their mind whole or not. They came back to a situation where they didn't feel, for the most part, appreciated. There was no parade for the Vietnam veterans. So we got our eye on it, and we watched how the veterans are treated, and we insist that they be honored and make sure that we say it loud and long and that they get their due process for the job they've done. It's something else to go up to a far-off country, whether you're being shot at, whether you're being supportive of the people who are in the field, 11 Bravo, 0311, whatever you are, that whatever contribution you're making, we thank you for it. We appreciate you for it because it's so important. And I don't care, I don't hear anything. You criticize whatever you want, but I want to make sure that we're doing the right thing that we can do, that you can make a difference. I started that after I left Vietnam. There were some friends of mine I left over there. 2 or 3 just died. Steve Pepe out in California, one of my good friends, he and Trudy Pepe, that we were lifelong friends from Vietnam. From Vietnam. He died recently. There were up in Canada, another friend of mine, we call him Chinook. Terry Houghton, he just died, was a machine gun in Vietnam. There were Willie Giles over in Alabama. I mean, there were just a lot of people. So you all maintained that camaraderie. Yeah, that we make sure that we, and we left over there. It was a friend of mine that the last thing I remember before I came up, that was a sergeant. We were both sergeants, and we were in Vietnam on patrol near Hill 55, and his name was Ralph Ortega. And we were sitting, just having a conversation, and they taught one of us to go on patrol. He said, today you have patrol, Sergeant Ortega. And he was just telling me what happened. He said, I ain't gonna make it. Really? He just, his instinct. That still touched me. It just blew me away. He said, I said, oh, don't say that. So you're going to be okay. You make this patrol, you come on back. We were short time. You know, like 30 days or 60 days. He said, oh, he said, I mean, without any anger, without any joy, without just simple statement, I'm not going to make it. I know it. And I said, oh, yes, you are, Bubba. He said, no. He said, I know I'm not going to make it. His instinct. I mean, he went out on patrol. There was one shot heard that he was on a close perimeter, not way out, you know. And that one shot took his life. Really? Killed him. Nice guy. I think he was from Kansas or something like that. But Hispanic brother. But I'm just saying, things like that stays with you. And so you speak up for them. You make sure that their voices are heard. You make sure that they are represented. That's right. Exactly. It just blows me away that he's just expressed it that way, and that conversation has lingered with me throughout the years. And I know a lot of them we left over there. Exactly. You know, and I can call their names. And that's why we have to support the ones that come back. That's like that memory has lingered with you. That's right. And we had another friend you would go, that was a therapist. That's right. And you would go through that. That's right. But then there are some people that the therapy has not really helped them to become whole. That's right. Because they're still dealing with that trauma. That's right. So what we're going to do is go to our break, to our sponsors, and we'll be right back. We'll be right back after word from some of our sponsors. Straightforward is brought to you by State Senator Ed Harbison, serving the citizens of Georgia's 15th Senatorial District and on the front lines for veterans every day. Progressive Funeral Home, family owned and operated since 1952. The George Ford legacy of high standards continues today in the compassionate and professional services provided. A touch of dignity for those who care. Progressive Funeral Home, 4235 St. Mary's Road. Trusted by generations. Whole Patient Healthcare. Dr. Jada Rimes-Bacote is board certified in family medicine. She believes the best patient care includes practical, individualized lifestyle changes. Located at 1338 13th Avenue, Columbus, 706-641-2080, or visit wholepatienthealthcare.com. The Framing Factory and Art Gallery for professional framing and decorative art, located in Lake Bottom, 1325 17th Street, or call 706-324-3823. And welcome back to Straightforward. I'm enjoying this very important visit with our state senator, Ed Harbison, Marine veteran, even though we're here at Fort Benning, Vietnam veteran, on the front line for the veterans every single day. I tell you, thank you for sponsoring this show. That is what your commercial says, and I do know it to be true. Not just the work that you're doing at the Capitol in Atlanta, but actually at the grassroots level.
and our dear friend who has moved from work to reward, Sergeant Major Eddie Roberts.
Eddie Roberts, right.
I tell you, the Order of St. Maurice and
Yes.
all of those things. See, I didn't forget. You know, you trained me well.
He did present me with that.
Yeah, and
He
because
did, right.
he really admired how you continued to work with veterans, even at the grassroots level. You know, people can always call your office in Atlanta, but I recall the people when the radio show, there was a group of veterans that met at the Crystal, met at Buena Vista Road at the McDonald's. Then there was a gentleman that would always call the show that drove a van to Tuskegee. See, I didn't forget any of that.
He did.
And so you were always trying to help and provide resources because they were taking the veterans over to get the help and the support that they needed. And they were not regular employees of the federal government. These were other veterans helping veterans.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. You got a lot of them out there.
Yes.
And one of the things that I think sort of don't reach us is the fact that there are a lot of people out there volunteering.
Right.
And we don't know them individually who they are, but they're doing quiet due diligence to try to serve the veterans, drive the buses.
It's not for the photo op. It's to really help the brothers.
Favor, you got Favor. I got a cousin who works for that organization, who volunteered for the organization, who assists me at times, my own cousin. So I said, wow, you talk to this guy, and they know the roadmap. It's not written
to
down,
help folks to help them with getting the disability services that they need, as well as the health care services.
That's right.
Because a lot of them that's not sheltered is what we'll say.
That's right.
They have to have assistance.
That's right.
And so if they need to, we don't need veterans living in tents in the woods, which we do have that among some here in Muskogee County. But when they need medical care, we now have the Porter-Chef Clinic here, which we were trying to get that for many years and finally got that done. But let's go there.
Yeah, use it.
But we need people to help people with that.
And sometimes the bureaucratic thing is a barrier to a lot of people.
Right.
So there are people who say, look, let's go. We'll walk through it with you. We'll help you out. So you got people all over the city that I work with a lot of, and they will help you. They will go there with you. Just ask for the help, and you'll get it.
Right, because we know
somebody, Leroy Davis over in Phoenix City,
or the DAV,
and
that's free. And that's free. But you got to be willing to be patient. And to walk it out. And this is a thing we used to have on your radio show when we were on Clear Channel, Magic Talk.
That's right.
People would call and they would complain that it was taking the system a long time. But what we found is that they would talk to you, then they would go talk to Congressman Bishop's people, and then they'd go talk to the people at the American Legion or the DAV, and then the process stops.
That's right.
So every time they went somewhere else, they went back to ground zero.
That's right.
And so we want to say, if someone's helping you, don't do that. Just you got to stick with that, and you got to walk that out. Yeah. No, because we used to hear that a lot when people was calling in because it was a live show.
You sort of muddy up the situation.
Exactly.
Because they're responding to everything happening.
Exactly.
So the last thing happened, they go back.
Exactly.
But I want to say this too. In the General Assembly this year, the General Assembly passed two things that you need to be aware of. Rather than get one license plate for your automobile, now you get two.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You can get two, as a matter of fact.
As a veteran.
As a veteran.
So what you need is what, your DD 214?
That's right. Usually if you got that's your key to getting anything like that.
Okay.
Of course, you know about the free driver's license.
Well, we want to tell them because everybody might not know.
That's right.
I know about it.
The free fishing license.
Free fishing license for the ones
in
want to
addition
fish.
to that, remember that when you now at the end of life, you get one grave in a Christian veteran cemetery. Now you get two plots.
Okay, so you can get one.
That's right.
Because David, our videographer, is a veteran, and that's what we were talking about. Believe it or not, about Fort Mitchell today, and he was saying that he could go there, and his spouse could go there too.
That's exactly right. And in addition, you can now everything like that. If you need anything like if you got a veteran having problem, what you can do is go to him and say, look, let's get you an accountability court or the veterans court.
Right.
And you get a different kind of response or different kind of system because they realize that you're a combat veteran. Oh, you're just a veteran. We're trying to reconnect with your family, and there's a little maladjustment there.
Right.
They can assist you to maybe, hopefully, and across that barrier.
Right.
And the program you went without that went the other day, you had people who had problems of their own.
Right, and Judge Richardson, presented you with one of those, the token from the Veterans Court.
That's right.
Because some of them are self-medicating.
That's right.
Trying to deal with the PTSD.
That's right.
And so through the accountability courts, and that's Dana and her team.
That's right.
And then you have Veterans Court, Drug Court, and the Mental Health Court.
That's right.
And you can get all of those services in one-stop shop at the accountability courts.
That's right.
And so if you run into problems, with the law, because of those untreated traumas, then there's a resource for that too.
That's right.
And so that is something that started all over the state of Georgia.
That's right.
Right. And so you were a part of that.
I passed the bill. I was the primary author, of the bill that stated that it would be standardized across the state of Georgia rather than having isolated places like Columbus, up north, but it will all be treated just alike. So I passed a bill that made them all the same and created them all over the state of Georgia.
Okay, and see, so that's something that people might not know. I had someone call me that I knew from Elizabeth County as a child. My cousins lived there, and her son was having issues. And I was able to say that this is something that is offered.
That's right.
Because he lived somewhere else outside of Muskogee County. And as mothers do, like even with Miss Rebecca, we're going to be worried until the end, but then he would be able to go and find that same type of support.
That's right.
Because you brought forth that bill.
That's right.
So that it would be uniform across.
In the state of Georgia. And secondly, in your pocketbook, now it was up to 35% of your retired pay. It's now 65%.
With the IRS.
It is excused with Georgia's IRS.
Okay, so with Georgia tax.
So we going toward that 100%, which is not, that 65% of your retirement pay, that's going to be pretty high.
Yeah.
That may cover a lot of people already in its entirety. It's there. It's there already. If you got retirement pay coming from in the military, at first it was 35% is forgiven for income tax purposes. Now it's 65% in law now that you don't have to worry about. So you're paying what, 35%?
Okay, so people need to know that when they file their taxes. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to our sponsors and we'll be right back. We'll be right back after word from some of our sponsors. Columbus Pediatrics GA, working together to build lifelong relationships between our staff and patients by consistently providing compassion, excellence, and value with 2 locations. The Old Town office at 3580 Massey Lane, Suite F, 706-596-8667. The Midtown office, 1900 11th Avenue, Suite A, 706-323-3400, ColumbusPediatricsGA.com. Barbara's Cleaning Service, a 5-star commercial service with satisfied customers in Georgia and South Carolina, built on the principle that every detail matters. Barbara's Cleaning Service, a new season building a family legacy. The Autism Hope Center. Diane Pope has dedicated the last 3 decades ensuring that families had support and resources for their loved ones on the autism spectrum. Join the Autism Hope Center for fellowship and resources located at 200 Hamilton Road, Suite B, or call 706-604-6333. The Miley Agency, Gerald Miley and his team can assist you in every aspect of your insurance needs. Call today for your free quote at 706-996-2045 or visit themiley.agency.com. And welcome back to Straightforward. I'm enjoying this very important visit about our veterans with our own Marine veteran, Vietnam veteran, State Senator Ed Harbison, serving the citizens of Georgia's 15th Senatorial District. I tell you, you have a good work ethic, a quiet storm just like your mother. So you, as old people would say, you got it honest. But
right.
yeah, but you move very quietly through the community. Even if there's an event, people can watch you when you enter the room. You're going to speak not just to the people that are maybe on the dais.
Oh, sure.
You're going to speak to the people that's serving. You're going to speak to the people that's security.
They're voters.
I don't care. But some folks, they not like that. They just want to get to the people who they think are the VIPs in the room. But if I'm looking for you, I got to wait 15 minutes for you to get to your seat, because you're going to talk to everybody along the way. And that is what most of our members of the 15th Senatorial District, they say about you.
One of the things we did, we passed a bill that says if a child comes from Kansas to Georgia, what we will do, we will make sure that that child stays in wherever his promotion, wherever his credentials say. If he doesn't have the proper papers, we're going to put him wherever his parents say he's supposed to be until his papers catch up. That is something we did 10 years ago, and we maintain it
because we don't want to penalize the child because their sponsor in the military is moving around, and as you know, paperwork won't always follow timely.
That's right.
So we're going to put them, we're going to trust what the family is saying, put them in their correct grade, and then let the paperwork catch up with them.
Catch up. But let me say this, the Georgia Military Veterans Hall of Fame, I want to say this to our veterans. Listen, you know people. I don't care what your rank was, what your MOS was. Look, this is not an elite group of people. This is a group of people who happen to be honored for some of the things they did. But you have people with you that you talk to every day. I don't care whether they got a Bronze Star, no star, Purple Heart, no Purple Heart, whatever work you think they did or are doing to help veterans in the state of Georgia, and they are from Georgia, you can be inducted if you submit your papers to the Georgia Military Veterans Hall of Fame committee. They will go through it. You have 2 seasons to get in before you have to introduce it again. If you know somebody out there who is doing a good job, who did a great job in the military, and there are about thousands out there, we want to honor every one of them. So submit the papers, go online, look for the Georgia Military Veterans Hall of Fame, fill out the form, and give the information, submit the information, and that person will be considered. Men, women, it doesn't matter where you're from, where you're going, as long as you live in the state. That's right. Rank doesn't matter. If you served,
and you served respectfully and well, and then they can be. Of course, you're in that Hall of Fame.
That's right.
In addition to the broadcasting Hall of Fame. See, you won't tell that because you don't think you have to tell it, but I have to tell it. So no, but all of those is because every job that you've ever done, because they got butter from the duck, you did it well. From being the first African American anchor here at NBC, in addition to being a radio broadcasting legend. I mean, really, every job, serving on the Muskogee County School Board.
Well, it's appreciated.
Yeah, and then now as our state senator, working for people. People are able to reach you, but they have to be, I have to say this for our viewers, you have to be patient. In addition to serving Muskogee County, you serve
7 counties.
7 counties. So your role is different from some of our state representatives, where their constituents are all in one place.
Perhaps, that's correct.
Right, yes, we do have them, where they're serving a district, but everybody they serve is in Muskogee County proper. Right. You have 7. That is a lot of geography, even if it's not a large population. Now I can speak to that because I work for the Census Bureau.
200,000.
Yeah, but you got Chattahoochee and Marion and all
Macon, Marion, Taylor,
and then we're saying Macon County.
That's right.
Not Macon, Georgia. That's all the way out to Montezuma.
60 miles away.
Yeah, that's one way.
That's right.
And so you're not just serving. People have to give you time.
That's right.
You don't have a large field staff.
No field staff.
It's you by yourself. Right. Bless your heart. That's different. That's on the congressional side, which is federal. They have field staff. But you are that one person that's in your car
That's right.
maneuvering and participating and serving people in 7 different counties.
That's right.
And the reason I say that is because a lot of times people don't understand civics.
Yeah.
That's not a put down,
That's right.
because we don't even teach that anymore. So there's a difference between being the state senator, state representative, and then your United States Congress
Difference.
or your U.S. senators. Those are all different things, as well as your city council. And we're a consolidated government,
That's
so
right.
we don't have city councilors and then separate commissioners.
That's
They're
right.
all in one.
That's right.
So I just wanted to use that.
Right.
So when people say, when they see me, well, I called Ed Harbison yesterday and he didn't call me, and I'm like, was it 24 hours? I mean, you know, we got to have
That's
some
right.
time
That's right.
because you might be somewhere else. So, any other parting words for our veterans? We had a lot of good things. We got the tax breaks for them now. You can, instead of getting the 1 tag, you can get 2 tags. You
right.
need your DD 214
That's
though. Then in terms of them needing assistance with looking at disability and then services and healthcare, we got the DAV. Of course, they can always call your office, but we
Right.
got the DAV, we got the American Legion, and we have other
Sure.
community groups
Sure.
that can
Sure.
assist them.
And did I mention Carmen Rice? I want to make sure I said her name.
You
as
did
well.
say her
I
name.
just want to be, she's the
Right, you
last
did
one.
it. You
I
did
want to be
include
clear,
her because she
Ed,
took
you missed-
Richard's
That's right.
place,
That's
and
right.
she's new.
She's new.
So we didn't want to leave her
No,
out
don't
because
do that.
she replaced our
That's
dear
right.
Richard Smith, and you all worked together for many years.
That's exactly right. And the deal is, look, the bottom line, be patient, as my friend Gloria said here. Please be patient. Don't worry about it. But get the word out. Make sure you represent who you represent. I get so many calls about my husband is sick. I don't know where to put him in the hospital. Well, guess what? The state of Georgia run hospitals down in Milledgeville. You could get somebody in there. Find your legislator. Contact that office, and I've gotten people in that hospital who badly need it. So stay alert, stay prayed up, and don't forget our veterans out there, because they are really deserving of your attention and your thanks.
All right. Well, we want to thank you for your service as a former Marine. We want to thank you for your service to this community and for always being willing to serve as humbly as you do. And I want to thank you so much for all the time that you've invested in me and for your support.
Well, thank
I
you.
am eternally grateful. All right. This has been straightforward. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. Until next time, be blessed.
What up, world? What's up, Columbus? Be sure to tune in every Sunday, Straightforward with Gloria Strode, right here on NBC 38.